Hello everyone, I'm Bruffy1322 and in this video I'll be going over the various discounts and bonuses that are now active in GTA Online as of Thursday the 1st of July 2021. All of these are going to be available for 1 week until Thursday the 8th of July. The podium vehicle this week is the Hot Ring Sabre, which can be won by spinning the lucky wheel in the casino. It's in the sports class and normally sets you back just over $800,000. While it's obviously useful for hot ring races, it is only in the E tier for the sports class as a whole, so maybe try to win this one on the 4th of July for extra bragging rights if you're American. The premium race this week is Down the Drain, which is an old style lap race in the city for the muscle class. I'd recommend sticking with the Clique or Yosemite here, they're likely going to have the edge on everything else. Also, the regular time trial this week is Storm Drain, which you can see being completed later in the video alongside the premium race track, with the RC time trial being Davis Quartz. In terms of regular vehicle discounts, you'll get 30% off the Flash GT, which is one of the fastest sports class cars off-road, but horrible to drive and arguably still worse than the Issy Sport. There's also 40% off the Roosevelt Valor, Drift Tampa, Bezra, Annihilator, Titan and Buzzard. In addition, there's 50% off the two American-themed vehicles of the Sovereign and Liberator, just in time for Independence Day, with 30% off the Winky, Vito Classic and Fire Truck, which you can still get just for free by calling 911 on the in-game phone rather than having to call Pegasus when you buy it for millions of dollars. In addition to all of that, there's 40% off the MOC and 25% off the Kasatka, including all their extras, Moonpool vehicles, etc. None of these vehicles are particularly notable for performance or racing, so no need to buy anything in that regard. You can of course find out the lap times, top speeds and tiers of all the vehicles that I've mentioned here by checking out the playlist and video links in the description and pinned comment. In terms of discounts specifically for Amazon Prime Gaming members who've linked their Rockstar Social Club accounts, you'll get 80% off the Sugoi, taking it from a frankly ridiculous $1.2 million to a much more reasonable $250,000, in addition to 70% off the Valkyrie, making it cost around $1.1 million from just under $3.8 million. There's so many helicopters in the game that are better than the Valkyrie, and the same could be said of the Sugoi given it's in the same F tier of the sports class as the Drift Tampa and is slow enough that it could have been competitive in the compacts class. However, 200 to 250k for the Sugoi is a much more reasonable purchase and probably what it should be by default rather than the exorbitant regular price, and it can be a fun car to drive. So if you have Prime Gaming and you want the Sugoi, now is the time. Or buy it and sell your current version if you already have the one that you bought at full price. Also, if you do have Prime Gaming and you haven't already, make sure you're giving your free subscription to a Twitch streamer each month as well. It doesn't have to be me, but make sure you're giving it to someone as you're basically supporting them with a $2.50 donation without any extra cost to you. Other miscellaneous bonuses this week include triple money on MOC missions and stockpile adversary mode. There's also 50% off bunkers and bunker renovations, and all the classic Independence Day items are available in various stores. In terms of my deal of the week, I'm going to go with the Drift Tampa. While it's in the F tier for the sports class and isn't going to be winning any random races anytime soon, it's actually a really nice car to drive, and if you're restricting your racing to cars in the F tier, it's a great option to use. And now it's time for the news and discussion segment of the video where I ramble on for a few minutes about something while you watch me complete this week's time trial and showcase the track for the premium race. So the time trial was Storm Drain, obviously, like I said earlier, and it took me 2 attempts. I'm going to show both because my very first attempt was so close, and I was kind of curious whether it was even going to be possible in the first place, since it seemed like people had had trouble in videos even on bikes, but this is one where I think cars might actually be better because of the crazy curb boosting that you can get in a car on the side of the Storm Drain, in addition to bikes taking a little bit more time to get up to speed in comparison to an all-wheel drive supercar like the Adder for example, and with it being such a short distance for the time trial, that sort of instant acceleration is kind of helpful as long as you've got the top speed to back it up for later on. In the end, it was relatively easy in the Adder. Like I said, it only took me 2 tries. This was probably one of the easier ones I've done, even with me playing it a little bit safer than I needed to on the final jump. So with even quicker cars, you might even have an easier time than that. One thing that I wanted to mention in this bit is there was much buzz earlier on in the week about an article which reported on something that a leaker had said. Now, I don't usually bring all up these things and comment on this stuff because, frankly, most of this stuff that you hear is just bull anyway. A lot of stuff was said, like multiple main characters again for GTA 6 and the fact that the next game is going to be set in a modern day Vice City. It could all be absolute garbage, and I don't believe any of it, honestly. But the main headline of that article was not to expect GTA 6 until 2025. And again, even though that exact aspect might be a lot of rubbish, I figured it was worthy of sparking a bit of a discussion, if nothing else. Because to me, 2025, it feels about right. And I mean that in terms of what I am expecting from Rockstar. It certainly doesn't feel right when it comes to the idea that GTA 5 was released in 2013 and we're having to wait 12 years for the next game. That doesn't feel right. But based on the fact that we're already 8 years into GTA Online and GTA 5 and we've probably still got plenty of time to go, the idea of 2025 seems like it could be reasonable. For me personally, I think they're at least going to want to get 10 years out of GTA Online. I remember when they were first talking about I think Destiny and even Anthem and things like that, and all these big companies were always saying, you know, we want it to be a 10-year experience. And even though Rockstar probably didn't set that out for GTA Online initially, I think now that they've had so long in it, they at least want 10 years. So that would put us to 2023. Maybe a few extra years beyond that for 2025 kind of makes sense. I mean, at that point, we could be on, I mean, we're at least going to be on some mid-console refreshers in 2025, you know, PS5 Pro or Xbox Series Z or something, I don't know. And not too far away from probably new consoles, you know, at least a year or two after that. So I think the sort of, to me, we're not going to be seeing GTA 6 until at least 2023. Anything between 2023 to 2025 seems reasonable to me based on what we've expected. Not like, again, not reasonable in terms of how long we've had to wait, but reasonable in terms of a prediction based on what we know. So obviously we don't know anything, but what are you guys expecting? Like, when do you think GTA 6 is actually going to arrive? Give me a year in the comments. What year do you think we're going to get it? Realistically, what is your prediction? And I think that will be interesting to see what people think. And at least, even though I don't believe any of this kind of stuff that leakers say, and the fact that there was an article based on just what one leaker said is a bit ridiculous, but at least it will have sparked a discussion, if nothing else. So let me know in the comments. As usual, I'll be back with another video just like this next Thursday, the 8th of July, where we'll go through everything that's changed once again. Feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.